So hello guys, welcome back to my channel Learn Education. So today we all are going to do Lakhmir Singh Manjit Kaur class ninth extra questions part 2 chapter 1 matter in our surroundings. So the first question, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Express this in SI units. SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. SI unit of temperature is Kelvin, so it would be 373 Kelvin. The Kelvin temperature is 270 Kelvin. What is the corresponding Celsius scale temperature? Corresponding Celsius यानी इसको माइनस 373 करेंगे तो -3 डिग्री सेल्सियस आएगा. Convert the temperature of 573 Kelvin to the Celsius scale. You have to do, in order to convert into Celsius, you will subtract 273, and in order to convert Celsius to Kelvin, you will add 273. So these all are for the Celsius and Kelvin scale only. Heat required to change the state of a substance without changing the temperature, it is known as latent heat. It is known as latent heat. What is the common unit of temperature? वो पूछ रहे हैं कॉमन यूनिट ऑफ टेम्परेचर क्या होता है, यानी जो हमें बहुत टाइम देखने को मिले, सेल्सियस एंड ऐसा यूनिट इज केल्विन. राइट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन केल्विन एंड सेल्सियस स्केल. टेम्परेचर अगर केल्विन स्केल पर है तो इट वुड बी सेल्सियस स्केल प्लस 273, क्योंकि केल्विन तभी आता है ना जब हम सेल्सियस में 273 ऐड करेंगे. What should be added to a Celsius scale reading so as to obtain the corresponding Kelvin scale? 273, right? What is meant by saying that the latent heat of fusion of ice is 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joule kg? The latent heat of fusion of solid is the quantity of heat in joules required to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid without any change in the temperature. Latent heat of fusion का मतलब होता है the amount of heat energy required to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid on melting point is termed as latent heat of fusion. It has been found by experiments that 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joules of heat has to be supplied to change 1 kg of ice to water at the same temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. So the latent heat of fusion of ice is this set. But it's not in your syllabus, so no need to see this question. Name the temperature at which a liquid changes into gas. Its boiling point, and a solid changes into liquid at heating point. Name one common substance which can be easily changed from one state to another by heating or cooling. It's water. इसको हीट करोगे वेपर्स में बदल जाएगा, कूल करोगे आइस में बदल जाएगी easily. What is the name of the process in which a solid turns directly into gas? Sublimation. A gas directly turns into solid, either sublimation or deposition. Name one property which is shown by ammonium chloride but not by sodium chloride. इट्स द प्रोसेस ऑफ सब्लिमेशन की अमोनियम क्लोराइड सीधा सीधा सॉलिड से गैस में हो जाता है, लेकिन सोडियम क्लोराइड NaCl वो सॉलिड से सीधा गैस में कन्वर्ट नहीं होता. What is the name of the process due to which dry ice changes into carbon dioxide? It's comparison, but it's not in your syllabus at all. What's the common name of solid carbon dioxide? हमने चैप्टर के एक्सप्लेनेशन में भी पढ़ा था क्या होता है, ड्राई आइस. Why is solid carbon dioxide known as dry ice? It is known as dry ice as we know that solid carbon dioxide, it undergoes the process of sublimation. Solid carbon dioxide directly changes into carbon dioxide and it does not melt to produce a liquid. It means it undergoes the process of sublimation. That is why it is called dry ice. Dry ice can produce much lower temperatures than that produced by ordinary ice, so it is much more effective for cooling purposes, right? Like मैं देखूं अगर, तो मेरे जो सॉलिड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है, जो भी CO2 है, undergoes the process of sublimation. That is why it is known as dry ice. and it performs cooling better than other ice which is formed by water. State what one condition that is necessary to liquefy gases other than applying high pressure. अब मेरे को पता है कि किसी गैस को liquefy करना है, then there are two conditions, mainly high pressure and lower temperature. State it is true or false. Solid carbon dioxide is stored under low pressure. अगर उसे लो प्रेशर के अंदर स्टोर करा जाएगा, देन वो तो भाई बन जाएगी मेरी गैस में, वो तो गैस बन जाएगी ना, तो इसलिए फॉल्स है. व्हाट इज केमिकल नेम ऑफ ड्राई आइस? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. फिल विद suitable words. I forgot to type the question, sorry for that. What do you mean by latent heat? What are two types of latent heat? Latent heat is termed as the heat that is hidden in the contents of beaker and is used to change the state of the substance. It has two types of fusion and of vaporization. Why is heat energy needed to melt a solid? Why is this heat energy called? जब एक सॉलिड को हीट करते हैं ना, तो हीट एनर्जी पार्टिकल्स में मूवमेंट कॉज करता है. हीट एनर्जी सॉलिड को मेल्ट करने के लिए इसलिए ज़रूरी होती है क्योंकि जब हम किसी भी सॉलिड को हीट देते हैं, इट प्रोवाइड्स काइनेटिक एनर्जी टू द पार्टिकल्स, जिसके वजह से पार्टिकल्स दे मूव वर्जियसली, दे मूव कॉन्स्टेंटली, दे मूव वर्जियसली एंड दे मूव constantly, and they have enough energy to overcome the stronger forces of attraction, जिससे वो फोर्सेस ऑफ अट्रैक्शन को तोड़ करके आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो दिस हीट एनर्जी इज काइनेटिक एनर्जी. अंडर व्हाट कंडीशन heat can be given to a substance without raising the temperature? The heat which is going into solid but not increasing its temperature is the energy required to change the state from solid, change of solid from solid to liquid. The heat which is going into solid. अब वो पूछ रहे हैं कि आप कौन सी कंडीशन में एक सब्सटेंस को हीट दे सकते हो बिना उसके टेम्परेचर को बढ़ाए. तो जब आप उसकी स्टेट चेंज कर रहे हो तब आप उसको हीट दे सकते हो बिना उसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ाए. Why does the temperature remain constant during the melting of ice even though heat is supplied? Because it is latent heat of fusion and it remains hidden in the contents of beaker and is used to overcome the forces of attraction between them. Why does the temperature remain constant during the boiling of water? Latent heat of vaporization, it remains hidden in the content of beaker and is used to overcome the forces of attraction. Explain why ice at 0 degree Celsius is more effective in cooling than water at the same temperature. अब यहाँ पे मुझे पता है कि यहाँ पे लेटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन वाला कॉन्सेप्ट यूज हो रहा है. ठीक है. आइस ज़्यादा इफेक्टिव होती है पानी से 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे कूलर करने में, बिकॉज आइस हैज़ कंज्यूम्ड एक्स्ट्रा लेटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन in order to overcome the forces of attraction. That's why it is more effective in cooling. Why would you cool a bucket of water more quickly by placing it on ice or by placing ice on it? क्या एक बकेट ऑफ वाटर को आप जल्दी ठंडा कब कर सकते हैं? उसे आइस के अंदर रख के, आइस बाहर उसको बीच में रख दो, या आइस को पानी के अंदर डाल के. वी वुड प्लेस आइस इन द वाटर टू कूल इट मोर क्विकली, बिकॉज आइस क्या करेगी, लेटेंट हीट लेगी वाटर में से और वाटर कूल हो जाएगा अच्छे से. लेकिन अगर हम वाटर को आइस पे रखेंगे तो सराउंडिंग से लेटेंट हीट ली जाएगी, air hence releasing its coolness to the surrounding and other water. हमने आइस को बाहर रखा तो जब वो मेल्ट करेगा लेटेंट हीट अब्जॉर्ब करके मेल्ट हो जाएगा, कूलिंग देता है. हमें इतना पता है कि जब भी आइस मेल्ट होता है तो वो लेटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन को क्या करता है, लेटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन को क्या करेगा, अब्जॉर्ब करता है और मेल्ट हो जाता है. वो मेल्ट होता है तभी कूलिंग इफेक्ट लाता है, राइट. जब वो मेल्ट होता है तो कूलिंग इफेक्ट छोड़ता है, वो हमारी हीट को अब्जॉर्ब करता है. लेकिन अगर हमने पानी के अंदर बर्फ डालेंगे तो आइस पानी की हीट को लेकर के मेल्ट होगा, जिससे पानी ठंडा होगा. Why does steam cause more severe burns? Because it has absorbed more extra latent heat of vaporization, which contains more heat. 1 kg of ice at 0 degree Celsius or 1 kg of water at 0 degree Celsius. Give reason. Uh, आपको क्या लगता है? What should the answer for this? The answer should see these both questions they are same. Which contains more heat, more chill आना चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से यहाँ पे. Which contains more chill? 1 kg of ice at 0 degree Celsius or 1 kg of water at 0 degree Celsius? 1 kg of ice has less heat than 1 kg of water at the same temperature. आखिरी लाइन पढ़ो. ये जूल केजी हटा दो अभी, ठीक है. 1 kg of ice at 0 degree Celsius, it has absorbed extra latent heat of fusion. That is why it would be more cooler than water at the same temperature. Which would give more heat, steam or water? Steam, because it has absorbed extra latent heat of vaporization. Explain why steam at 100 degrees Celsius is better for heating purposes than boiling water. It is because steam has absorbed extra latent heat of vaporization and it will go give off more heat. That's where it is better. Which produces more severe burns? Boiling water or steam? Why? Steam, because it has absorbed extra latent heat of vaporization. Hence, when steam falls on our skin and condenses to produce water, वो बहुत एक्सेस में क्या करता है, एनर्जी छोड़ता है बॉइलिंग वाटर से ज़्यादा, जिससे सेवियर बर्न्स हो जाते हैं हमको. Why does the temperature of a substance remain constant during the change of state? It remains constant during its initial stages of exposure because the heat is latent and is going to overcome the forces of attraction between the particles. What is the physical state of water at 0 degree Celsius? या तो वो आइस होगा या लिक्विड होगा. 25 डिग्री सेल्सियस लिक्विड होगा. B, 100 degree Celsius, either steam or boiling water. At 250 degree Celsius, steam. Explain why there is no rise in temperature of a substance when it undergo a change of state, though heat is supplied continuously. It is going to overcome the forces of attraction. That's why the temperature of a substance does not rise. Define melting point of a substance. What is the melting point of ice? The temperature at which solid substance starts melting into liquid at atmospheric pressure. मेल्टिंग पॉइंट किस पर होता है? एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर उसे हम कहेंगे मेल्टिंग पॉइंट. एंड आइस का मेल्टिंग पॉइंट होता है 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस. डिफाइन बॉइलिंग पॉइंट. व्हाट इज द बॉइलिंग पॉइंट? अब मेल्टिंग पॉइंट भी एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर पे, बॉइलिंग पॉइंट भी एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर पे. तो बॉइलिंग पॉइंट क्या होता है? द टेम्परेचर एट विच लिक्विड बॉइल्स एंड चेंजेस इनटू अ गैस एट atmospheric pressure is called a boiling point. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. What is melting and what is boiling? The process in which a solid changes into liquid, the process in which a liquid changes into gas on heating, दोनों में आ जाएगा. Define the following. Condensation, the process of changing sorry, the process of changing vapor to a liquid by cooling is termed as condensation, and freezing, the process of changing a liquid into a solid by cooling, is called freezing. हमने एक टेबल सा नहीं पढ़ा था. It's just about that. Explain why naphthalene bowls kept in stored clothes in our homes disappear over a period of time. This happens because it undergoes the process of sublimation. Explain briefly how gases can be liquefied. गैसेस को लिक्विफाई करना है, यानी गैस को लिक्विड के अंदर कन्वर्ट करना है. गैसेस दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ स्पेस बिटवीन देम. तो हम क्या करते हैं? We compress it out. In compressing, what happened? It is compressed. The particles are put closer. Means टेम्परेचर को बढ़ाया जाता है और टेम्परेचर को कम करा जाता है. इसीलिए हमारी गैसेस लिक्विफाई हो पाती है. How is ammonia gas liquefied? By applying high pressure and lowering down the temperature. How does applying pressure or compression help in the liquefaction of a gas? Whenever we compress a gas, the pressure is higher and the temperature is lower. So automatically the gas liquefies. How does the sweating or perspiration of a keep our body cool on a hot day? Perspiration और sweating एक ही बात है जब आप पसीना छोड़ते हैं. स्वेटिंग हमारी बॉडी का एक मेथड है. जब भी हम स्वेट करते हैं गर्मियों के अंदर तो कॉटन इज अ गुड एब्जॉर्बर ऑफ स्वेट. इट एब्जॉर्ब्स इट, and when the sweat particles they evaporate, they absorb the heat energy from our body and evaporate. Hence it helps us feel cool. यहाँ पे प्लेटेंट हीट ऑफ वेपराइजेशन का प्रोसेस लगाएंगे. व्हाई डज ऑल द एक बार दोबारा ऊपर वाला क्वेश्चन पढ़ लेते हैं. ऑफ मेंटेनिंग अ कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर ऑन अ हॉट डे और आफ्टर डूइंग सम फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज where our body temperature tends to rise too much, our sweat glands give out moisture on our skin. When the sweat evaporates, it takes the latent heat of vaporization from our body. This keeps our body cool. Why does all the water of the earth not get evaporated during hot summer days? This is because of high value of latent heat of vaporization of water. This question is a bit tricky. कि सारा पानी अर्थ का evaporate क्यों नहीं हो जाता है समर डेज के कारण? बिकॉज वाटर इट हैज अ हाई वैल्यू ऑफ latent heat of vaporization. If the back of your hand is moistened with alcohol, you will find that it rapidly becomes dry. Why is that? While it is drying, your hand feel cool because alcohol, when it evaporate, it would absorb the latent heat of vaporization from your body and evaporate, thus leaving the body cool. What types of clothes should we wear in summer and why? We should wear cotton clothes because they're good absorber of sweat and it would help us feel cool. Why we are able to sip hot tea or milk hot tea or milk जो लेना है ले लो faster from a saucer rather than from a cup. It is because saucer provides a larger surface area whereas cup provides shorter surface area. So as we know that surface area increases the rate of evaporation. If there is more surface area, larger surface area, larger heat of evaporation. Lower surface area, lower heat of evaporation. So that is why saucer provides large surface area leading to fast process of evaporation. That's why we can sip milk faster from a saucer. Why does a palm feel cool when you put some perfume acetone on it? Because when acetone evaporates, it absorbs latent heat of vaporization from our body or palm and evaporates. Thus, our palm feels cool. How will it demonstrate that water vapor is present in air? The formation of drops of water on the outside surface of tumbler containing crushed ice shows the presence of water vapor in air. वाटर वेपर ना जब भी ठंडी हवा के चपेट में आते हैं दे कंडेंसेस यानी गैस से लिक्विड बन जाते हैं. तो अगर हमने ठंडी बर्फ के किसी भी कंटेनर को बाहर छोड़ दिया और वो उसके सरफेस पे फॉर्मेशन आए ड्रॉप्स के, हम समझ जाएंगे दैट देयर आर वाटर वेपर्स इन द एयर. Define the term latent heat of fusion of a solid. How much is the latent heat of fusion of ice? Latent heat of fusion of solid क्या होता है? The latent heat of fusion of a solid is the quantity of heat in joules required to convert 1 kg of solid into liquid at melting point without any change in the temperature. How much is latent heat of fusion of ice? 3.34 into 10 to the power 5 joules per kilogram. ये experimental setup नहीं है, please leave this. Define the term latent heat of vaporization of a liquid. What is the value of latent heat of vaporization of water? The heat required to convert 1 kg of liquid into gas at its boiling point is termed as latent heat of evaporation without any change in the temperature. It is 22.5 into 10 to the power 5 joules per kilogram. What is sublimation? Name two substances. The change of solid directly into gas vapors is termed as sublimation. And two substances that undergo is, we can say, ammonium chloride, camphor, iodine as well. What are the two ways in which the physical state of matter can be changed? Matter can be changed from one state to another if heated or cooled. If a solid is heated, it changes into liquid. This is called melting. If water is heated, it changes into steam. This is called boiling. Meta triangle. It is asking for the same we did triangle one diagram, right? We have to draw that only. How can the evaporation of a liquid be made faster? By increasing the temperature, by increasing the surface area, by decreasing the humidity. Okay? What is evaporation? State the various factors which affect it. Why does evaporation cool a liquid? The process of change of liquid into vapor below its boiling point, it's termed evaporation, and it is surface phenomena. The various factors which affects is temperature, humidity, wind speed and surface area. जब भी कोई liquid evaporate होता है, it absorbs the heat, it absorbs the latent heat from the surroundings and evaporates. Thus, it causes cooling. So, this was all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe the channel and do not forget to share it. Thank you so much.